She was getting ready to leave and asked how she looked. I wasn't really paying attention, so I just said, "You look fine." And she said, "Fine? Just fine." I said, "Yes." So she says, "I don't want to look fine, I want to look nice." So I go, "Okay, you look nice then?" Then she just groans and storms off. Guys, has something like this ever happened to you? Edit. Lots of people saying she was probably upset I didn't notice how much extra time she put into her appearance today. She didn't. She looked like she does every day. Edit 2. After careful consideration, I'm an idiot. Story 1. I read here on Reddit, when my wife asks, I don't immediately answer. I ask her to twirl, show me her backside, and then appear to look at different angles up and down. Then I give my opinion, which is always positive. Honestly, I like what she looks like in any clothes. Edit. Wow, thank you all for blowing this up. Happy to share my advice. Story 2. I didn't notice how much extra time she put into her appearance today. She didn't. She looked like she does every day. I keep that one to myself, my man. Story 3. I always tell my wife she looks terrible. How do I look? Oh my God. What? That looks terrible on you. Take it off. Right now. Here. Let me help. Oh my God. Shut up. Let's go. I make her laugh. I tell her she's sexier than any outfit could ever be, and I reassure her she's looking fine without ever saying the words. Works every time. Story 4. Not really a compliment, but along the same vein. My ex and I were cuddling, and she ended up laying on top of me. Not just head on chest, but her entire body was on me and being supported by my body. Note, I'm not a big man, just 150 pounds. She proceeded to ask if she's heavy, and I answered, "Yes, you're pressing against my lungs." At this point, she either pretended to get offended or really did get offended and said, "Are you insinuating that I'm fat?" To which I replied a line that I've seen on Reddit once before and been saving to use. "Are you insinuating that you're lighter than air?" I laughed. She laughed and slapped me a little. Story 5. My girlfriend looks amazing and she is really hot, but she almost never believes me whenever I tell her. She is insecure about her weight, and that just makes it hard for her to accept that. I wish she could see herself using my eyes. Story 6. The event. New Year's Eve 2001. The place. Aberdeen, Scotland. My friend Laura is getting ready for the night out and celebrations. She's all dressed up but feeling self-conscious. I'm a little bit worried that I look fat in this dress. How do I look? Seriously, in my head this sounded helpful. Oh, don't worry about it. That dress would make anyone look fat. She spent the rest of the night on the couch, in her pajamas and under a blanket. Story 7. You answer your own question in the second sentence of the post. You were not really paying attention. That is the issue. She wanted one moment of undivided attention, and you did not spare it. Story 8. How did you survive the entire relationship, proposal, engagement, and marriage up until this point without realizing that the question, "How do I look?" should not be answered with the word fine? Story 9. Okay, I'm gonna out myself here. I have an alter ego called Barkley. He is a fashion consultant. My wife and I have agreed that if she asks me how an outfit or hair looks, I'm going to say fine. On the other hand, if she asks for Barkley's opinion, he's going to say, "The two shades of blue you picked clash, and you should wear flats because we'll be walking a lot today." Also, rule number 1 is the wife cannot get mad at Barkley since she is looking for an honest answer. It's her choice on who she's asking. Story 10. Speaking from some degree of experience, if she was getting ready to go, she probably was putting in extra effort to look nice and wanted you to notice or appreciate that, or was unsure if her ensemble was really as nice as she thought it was. Either way, she wanted honesty, engagement, and a degree of specificity. Story 11. About a month into my relationship, I told my girlfriend that she looked homely. In my head, I assumed it meant like, girl next door. Turns out it definitely does not mean that. Story 12. Did you say fine like a fine wine, or like you look alright? Because tone matters there. Fine with zero enthusiasm becomes the second one. If that was the case, then you really shouldn't be blaming her for her hurt feelings. So I go, okay, you look nice then? You have to be dense to not see how this is insulting. To clarify, saying you look fine is also a way of saying that you don't care or that you're not willing to give a real answer. That answer comes across as talking to a brick wall, at least where I'm from. Story 13. I have no problem with that question. I give an honest, you look beautiful. My problem is, do these shoes go with these pants? Then I give an honest, I have no clue. Story 14. So I go, okay, you look nice then? Honestly, I'd be kind of upset if my wife was so blatantly just saying whatever to appease me instead of giving an honest opinion. It's patronizing. Story 15. Try telling her she looks nice without her asking more often. If she is fishing for compliments, she likely feels insecure and is looking for some support. Story 16. I'm a girl, but I had to come on here and give you guys a general life hack. Never, ever, under any circumstances use the word fine to describe anything to your significant other. Women hear this as pure apathy, and it is a guaranteed way to make us annoyed or upset. I know it's tempting, and most of the time whatever is being asked about truly is fine, but spare yourself so much time and frustration and use a word a degree or two above or below fine as is appropriate. Story 17. For your information, fine means adequate in that context. She was hoping to look above average and you told her she looked adequate. Pretend you asked her how good your sex was, and she answered, adequate. Wouldn't it sting a little? For future reference, here are some words to use when describing your wife's appearance that will probably garner a more positive reaction. Good, nice, pretty, beautiful, hot, damn fine, stunning, sexy, cute, charming. Story 18. Life pro tip. You just have to respond with something like, you look good. I like the color of your shirt, shoes, nails, or whatever. Just pick some aspect of her outfit or aesthetic and specifically comment on it. Story 19. You aren't necessarily wrong, but there are things you can do. I like telling my girlfriend that she is pretty almost every day. She is, and she deserves to feel that way. Your girlfriend is still seeking that approval, or she wouldn't have gotten mad. Start telling her she is beautiful and flirt with her. Act like you don't just have her around. Playfully touch her while walking by. Just do things that show you can't get enough and it takes no effort to do it. Story 20. Of course, this has happened. Almost every guy alive has experienced some derivative of this exact scenario. And almost every woman alive has more or less reacted in this way to a questionable compliment. Congratulations, you and your wife are average. In the best possible way, of course. Story 21. You married her because she's the most lovely lady in your life, right? Make her feel that way. So no, fine is pretty average. You should be like, you are so fine, baby. I don't know, just a suggestion. I'm single as a Pringle. Story 22. A few weeks ago, I met my sister-in-law and said, oh, you look so thin. She looked at me strangely and said, thanks. It took a few moments for me to realize that by expressing surprise at how thin she looked, I implied that I usually think she looks heavier. I apologized and told her that what I meant to say was that she looked nice. Edit. I read the other comments of this thread, and she just wants a bit of validation from the guy she loves. Grow up and get over the whole women are crazy attitude. Story 23. My ex is a professional soprano singer. The first time I saw her in concert, she asked me what I thought of her performance. I said it was good. Egads, that was the wrong thing to say. Story 24. Your wife never looks fine. She never looks nice. She is always beautiful. Always. If she went to bed drunk, wakes up with messy hair, makeup all over her face, a pouty look, and a hangover, she's beautiful. Hand her the sports drink and be quiet. This is not a sexist statement, but to us, the words that all mean the same thing, that is, nice and fine, mean completely different things to a woman getting ready to leave the house. Story 25. Fine? Just fine? Time to bust out the rhythm and blues. You look so fine, 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 yeah. Gotta slide your feet from side to side to get the full effect. Story 26. Do you really not see how being condescended to might have annoyed your wife? The okay, you look nice then thing? Like throwing a compliment token at her to shut her up, but making sure she knows how much of a chore it is for you? I had a boyfriend who would do this often. He'd never give me a compliment beyond fine or nice no matter how much effort I put into something, like my appearance or cooking, despite the conversations we had about it and how it made me feel like I didn't want to make an effort with him anymore. So after a while, I figured fine, I would stop making an effort to go out of my way to compliment him. I would make it a practice to actively find one thing to genuinely compliment him on every day. Since he told me several times he couldn't do all this pretty word stuff and it wasn't important. He changed his tune pretty quickly after he made dinner, spent a few hours cooking, and I told him it was fine. Everyone likes to be appreciated by their partner, and giving a genuine compliment doesn't hurt you. You look fine is like, you look acceptable. That's not a compliment. No one's saying gush all over the place, but even if she looks the same as she usually does, hopefully you think she usually looks nice. So that's not an ingenuine thing to say. Story 27. Personally, I don't give compliments often. So when I do, it means a lot. I ran into one of my regular bartenders outside of her bartending and I nonchalantly mentioned how nice she looked. It made her night. A random compliment means a lot. Way more than showering her with empty compliments. Story 28. There are so many comments, but this was a major problem for me with my now ex. He couldn't tell me I was beautiful, even if I had spent hours getting ready to go out with him. I don't consider myself high maintenance or needy, but I really wanted to hear I was attractive to him. His opinion meant so much to me, and it broke my heart that he couldn't say I was pretty in any kind of meaningful way. It killed my self-esteem and confidence. Women are taught at every possible moment it is important for us to be attractive. When the most important person in my life couldn't express this, it really hurt. Story 29. When I put time into getting ready, it's because I want to look great. If I spent a while getting ready, then asked my partner and he just said, fine, without barely even looking at me, then I would think all that time was wasted. If she didn't care about your opinion, she obviously wouldn't ask for it. Honestly, this post and some of the replies just come off as incredibly dense. People are saying the wife needs to be more specific, work on her communication, or stop fishing for compliments. Yikes. Story 30. It's less the fine, it's the okay, etc. That feels like she can't trust what you say, or that she's doing something that makes you need to just go along with her. At that point, you have to try something like, hey, sorry, love, I wasn't paying attention. Let me look at you properly. And then give her a compliment that you mean. She's asking because she wants to feel assured about more than how she looks. She's asking for a sense that you're on the same side and that you trust each other. It's about emotional support and boosting each other up. Story 31. Fishing for compliments is immature teenager behavior, and this idea of having a trained response, like, if he says the right words when prompted, he gets the treat, is Pavlovian nonsense. Instead, compliment your wife throughout the day, whether she's sitting on the sofa in her pajamas or heading out to the gym in her sports gear. Break the cycle of inadequacy promoted by beauty magazines and Instagram photoshoppers, and she won't get upset when you don't say the right words because she will know you think she's beautiful no matter what she wears or how her face is painted. Story 32. A dude once told me I was a solid 7. He didn't understand why it made me upset. No one wants to hear that. Either tell me I am a 10 or be quiet. Story 33. Didn't happen to me. It was my friend who was the perpetrator. Mid-coitus, she decided to engage in some sexy talk, improvisational sexy talk. She whispered in his ear, "You're so good at that." He followed her lead and blurted out, "You're so fantastic." Yeah, he had to come stay at my place for a few days after that. Story 34. Honestly, for me, it's less the use of "you look fine" and more the "I wasn't really paying attention" and the patronizing "okay, you look nice then?" You're obviously not being genuine about it and wanting to tell her what she wants to hear to move on. This is less about your choice of words but the attitude behind it. You're not paying attention to her for the few seconds it would take to look her up and down and give a genuine comment on it. Even if you think she doesn't look amazing that day, if you have a good relationship built on communication, she should appreciate it. But either way, the main thing is that she wants something genuine from you and not a very obviously disinterested comment. Story 35. I love your edit. As a woman, sorry guys, I know it's your page, but if we specifically ask, please, just for the sake of all things holy, say yes, my darling, you look amazing. It will honestly save you so much effort. Even when she's feeling unwell because she's had a bad Chinese meal and looks like she's been dragged through a bush backwards. Tell her she looks beautiful to you as the moment you saw her. It's not really a lie. She looks bad now, but you love her, flaws and all. But if she puts any effort into looking nice, be sure you tell her she's beautiful. Story 36. Girlfriend literally asked me 2 days ago if her Instagram pictures looked good. I said yes, they look fine, they're okay. Boy, was that the wrong answer. I didn't know I was supposed to be the 24/7 hype man. Story 37. You gave the worst reply ever, fine, and changed it when you were asked to, and it was even worse. Get rid of the words fine and nice while complimenting someone, especially your girl. And never ever change the compliment to something she says. It's just a formality asking for a particular compliment. When we say, aren't I looking nice? You don't have to say, yeah, you look nice. You should say, you look good, or use some other positive word and add one more complimentary line. Complimentary lines are real tools. I use them because the other person thinks you're listening to them and are attentive, and this makes the person happy. Story 38. That's nothing, mate. This morning, my wife criticized me for not checking out her figure while she was setting up the paddling pool for our child. I happened to be searching online for where to get a hose attachment to fill that paddling pool at the time. Guests were due in 10 minutes. Story 39. Dude, your wife just wants you to compliment her. It's not hard. How is fine a compliment? You just told her you don't find anything particularly special or attractive about her. Be better. Story 40. She isn't mad at you. She has frustrations elsewhere and is projecting them onto you. I've also found it's best to set everything up one notch. Does she look like she is ready to go to Home Depot and garden? She looks fine. Does she look like she is heading into the office or out for errands or visiting family? She looks really nice. Does she look like she is headed to church? Oh, she is really pretty today. Is she getting dressed up for a nice dinner or a social function? She is drop-dead gorgeous. Is she dressed to go to the club or on a date night? She is the sexiest person you have ever seen.